It says it's called. Good morning, everyone. This is J. Michael Smith in Texas. Welcome you to Mentor Monday on May 12th, 2025. See a lot of familiar faces. We've got a lot of excitement today. We just got a lot of this team had the big event in Las Vegas last Friday, the first of the weekend. So we got a lot of exciting news to share with you from Dave and from all the others that were there on Friday. But a couple of highlights real quick that I want to mention as we get to here in the middle of May. That one of the announcements is it's in the United States, as far as I'm concerned, and Dave, maybe you can clarify for the global market, but it is free enrollment with any purchase this month. So you buy one bottle of Transfer Factor, they waive the $25 enrollment fee. So that's free enrollment. The other one was the big one. Another big one, I think, is the new affiliates that enroll in Fast Start now are eligible for a 100 life point bonus when they reach Builder, and 150 life points if they reach Builder Elite that they can redeem on their loyalty program. And that actually runs through the entire rest of the year from May to December. And then another big one, obviously, is this always we were looking forward to hear is the next big international convention in Salt Lake City. And that's now going to be held in April of 2026. They made the announcement that the international convention in the United States now will be every 2 years on even number years. So 2026, 28, and 30. And then off years like this year, they'll be doing regional events as they did in Las Vegas around the country. And my understanding is that we're look forward to announcement. We'll probably have some more regional events in the United States in the fall of this year as well. So that's the odd years. That's the the big announcements, but I'm going to turn this over to my good friend, Mr. Dave Daughtry. I know you've got a ton to share with us. You've got an exciting week ahead yourself or the rest of this month with your travels. But Dave, take it away, sir. Good to hear you. Good to see you.
Thank you, Jim Michael, and thank you everyone for being here today. Yeah, Vegas was a blast. And I want to kind of get into the way we've got this new format. Jim Michael, thank you so much for, bringing these announcements. Honestly, if I was doing this today by myself, I would have forgotten some of that. So thank you for that. It's so important, you guys. I mean, if you think about, with the Fast Start now, becoming a builder, you're going to get 100 life points of life point loyalty credit that you can redeem, and a Builder Elite gets 150. So the whole point is we're trying to show people that for starting a business, the investment you put into it, it's a no-brainer. It really is, because you get products to use for you and your family, and you can sell some of those products, and it's not a lot of products. It's 400 life points. But you have the ability, just by sponsoring 3 people in a year, by the way, you got a year, you can start receiving some special rewards that you would not have received otherwise, all the way up to over $40,000 of additional income just because you're in the Fast Start program. So when you are presenting, when you're sharing, when you're storytelling with people, make sure you always tell them about the Fast Start option. In fact, to me, that's the only way. I mean, I always present that way. And if somebody says, well, can I start, with less? Okay, you can, but why would you? You'd be better off, going and borrowing, a few $100s that you need to start your business with a Fast Start. So that's a great option. This format that 4Life has now, with the international conventions every 2 years, and then in between having regionals. The thing that I enjoyed about this particular event we had in Vegas is one day. So you had to pack a lot in the one day. But you guys, the real work at this, to me anyways, isn't what happens in the event. It's what happens outside the event. And I'm going to share some pictures with you. Networking is about community. It's about family and teamwork, but everybody is building a team, everybody. So when we come together as a family, we're a big 4Life family. And, sure, I look at people from Jeff Gilbers to Arminio to Rob, all the people that are there, they've all got teams or members of teams. But in the end, we're all a big family. And it's all about, working together. And so, as I sat there and listened, um, it's always wonderful for me to see people, especially when they're in part of my organization, that I traveled this journey with them. And I remember when we began, and with many of you here right now, we're beginning. Everybody has a beginning. And then I'm not going to say everybody has an end because you really never end. When the time comes when you retire, into your business, not outside of your business. You still show up at events now and then because you love your people. And it's just wonderful to be around them. But traveling that journey with them, to me, that is one of the most special things. It's just such a special experience. And so as I sat there in the audience and was looking at these people speaking, all of them, except really one, we did travel the journey together, but he's my upline, he's your upline, Rob Robertson, Rob and Ashley. They made platinum back in December. And they're a testament, an example of 27 years of persistence, 27 years of dedication. And I thought that Rob, it was quite interesting because he talked about something very different. He talked about when he joined For Life, and he joined before any of us. I mean, I think Rob joined the very first month For Life opened in 1998. I didn't join until October of 1998. But Rob talked about how when he joined, he was trying to tell For Life what they should do. They never listened to him. And he's glad that they didn't listen to him, you see, because he really didn't come from a background of networking. Him and his dad, Rob Sr., Dr. Rob, were trying to get Transfer Factor. They're trying to get the patents so they could launch their own company. They lost. David Lisenby won. And we're all grateful for that because we wouldn't be here today if David Lisenby hadn't won the patent. And so Dr. Rob and Rob Jr., their attitude was, hey, we couldn't beat him, let's join him. And so they called David Lisenby and said, we'd like to join you. And he said, he accepted, of course. And so that's kind of where it all began. But everyone has a beginning, you guys. And I want to say this. What inspires people is your story as you're building. And I'm not saying you have to have a story that you were on your deathbed and you had cancer and For Life Transfer Factor brought you back to life. I mean, it's happened. I know people that have had miracle stories with our products, but it's about the daily consistency. I learned that a few simple disciplines equal multiple great rewards. And when I look at people, they're on stage at an event like Las Vegas, and I ask, how'd they get there? They all have a day they signed up. Just like you, just like me, we all have that day. And none of them that I worked with, that I know of, and that was pretty much everybody there, brought in a massive team of people because of what they had before. They brought in maybe one or two or three, I mean, Armenio brought in 5. I think the first month he signed up 5 people. Now, those people, you look at today, of the 5, 3 are platinum and 2 are golds. So obviously they were people that were serious, that wanted to build a business. But they still, every single one of them, still had to go through a process which requires discipline, consistency, focus, tenacity, a bit of thick skin, because there are going to be people that aren't going to believe you. They aren't going to believe that you're going to build this huge, successful organization, that you're going to achieve your dreams. All right. Well, all those you have to have, but you have to have vision. Where do you see yourself down the road? Where do you see yourself in a year, in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? You have to have that kind of vision. And every single one of those people have a vision. They all do. So I'd say one of the greatest announcements in Las Vegas was David Lisenby talking about the next convention. And again, I'll get into some pictures and show you some pictures here in a minute. But there's a new discovery. They've been working on this for years and years. And I think what's really cool about it is there's a market out there of people that are vegetarian or vegan, and for whatever reason, because transfer factor is a molecule, so it's not considered dairy. But I think there are those sometimes that look at the source of it, and the sources come from bovine colostrum, from the egg yolk. That's where they extract those molecules from, which are educational molecules for the immune system. Well, now, and I've always known this, by the way, there's another source. Now, how did I know about this source? I have followed a person for decades. He passed away. His name is Stephen Herod Buhner. Look him up. Stephen with a PH, Stephen Herod, Harrod, Buhner, Buhner. And he is a world-renowned herbalist. And he discusses plants. And he's got a couple of books that are wonderful that I highly recommend. Herbal Antivirals and Herbal Antibiotics, Stephen Herod Buhner. Well, he always talks about the plant's defense mechanism. If you think about it, how long have plants been on the planet? They have a defense mechanism too, you see. In fact, some of those defense mechanisms they have are against us as humans. They're called lectins. That's what a plant uses as a defense. Part of its defense system is lectins, you see. Well, it's been discovered that there are actual transfer factors in these. Now, the key is, how do you isolate them? How do you extract them? And how do you make them or keep them bioactive so that when you consume one of these transfer factors, it stays active for as long as possible in the body? Well, they've discovered that. Now, I spent 2 weeks ago, I was in Utah, had a chance to pick Dr. Vollmer's brain. And I thought something he mentioned was quite interesting. And he'll be on the cruise, by the way. I'm going on this cruise in 2 days. And Dr. Vollmer will be on there. I'm going to be picking his brain as much as I can. But he talked about potency. Potency. They've discovered that these particular transfer factors are extremely potent. And so I'm looking forward to actually seeing some of the studies, because that's what 4Life does. What makes us different than other companies? Everything they bring to the table is based on sound, solid science. There have been journals written or peer reviews that are conducted, studies that are conducted. Not all of them go into the peer review journals. Those can be quite expensive. But there's definitely third-party studies, in-house studies, and in the end, many of these are published. So we have access to the publications. I watch people join companies, and I get it. There's a lot of sizzle because they're marketing companies. Some of these people can get a lot of people excited about something. But when you say, show me the data, show me the science behind it, you're saying something, let me see it. Almost none of them can show it. There's a company out there called, and I don't knock companies, but I do like to be transparent and honest. There's a company out there called Immunotech. They've got a product called Immunical. And I know a lot about it. They talk about how glutathione, which is an antioxidant, and how they've got this ultracysteine, which comes from whey, by the way. This is a whey protein. But yet you call it an ultracysteine. What's the process? And I don't want to go off on a tangent here, you guys, because we're talking about Las Vegas. But my point is this. There is no science behind it. It's just rhetoric. We have got an ultracysteine product in our ProTF. It's hydrolyzed, ultra-filtered. So, and the thing is, our glutamine has more components as an antioxidant than glutathione. See, glutathione's one component. Glutamine, you get a lot more. So, I love the science behind our products. But what I want to say this is, when they talked about the plant-based transfer factors, I think that's going to bring in a whole new market of people. I think that you're going to have people, that are your vegan, vegetarian types. Now, I do know that this is going to be added to Transfer Factor Plus in the beginning. I'm not sure if they're going to have just a completely separate plant-based. Hopefully, that will be, the case, as it gets rolled out. I assume that it will eventually be added into many of the Transfer Factor products. And that's another thing. When you're talking to people, sharing with people, understand Transfer Factor is a proprietary technology that 4Life has. It's included in many of our products. So you're going to get multiple benefits, whether it's a transformational product, whether it's a targeted product for a particular system of the body, be it cardiovascular system, respiratory system, the brain, reproductive system, nervous system. So you're going to get multiple benefits from the products, and they work. So let me kind of share with you some pictures from Vegas. And as I said earlier, for me, the real work isn't just standing on stage and doing a presentation. And I did my 90 days, and I just finished doing a Zoom for India. I was up this morning doing a Zoom for India. I'm going to India on the 8th of, actually, I think the 7th of June next month. I'll be working in India, Bangladesh, Malaysia, and Singapore, and then come back home, and then go to Colombia, Brazil, and Peru. So I'm hitting the road. But the point is, I lost my train of thought there. The real work is out with the people. Okay, sure, you get great information, great training, some inspiration, some stories, listening to people at the event, but it's what happens outside the event and after the event, during lunch, the dinner that you have, the people that you're meeting. That's the networking, you see? So it's one thing to listen and learn, but it's something else to get out and share. That's how you're going to be successful. Sharing, sharing, sharing. So let me share my screen and kind of just go through some fun pictures here. Apologize, you guys. Got to make sure my photos are here. Been trying to put some albums together. Of course, yesterday was Mother's Day, and so happy post Mother's Day to all the mothers that are here today. And it was a great day yesterday. We all went to a Brazilian churrascaria yesterday and had Brazilian food with the family. So hopefully you can see, let me make sure here we go. This is my my little album I put together real quickly. So this gentleman here flew in from Houston, and we just happened to be flying in minutes within each other. And so I've never seen him before. He's never seen me other than, on a Zoom. And so we never met. And so we were messaging each other through WhatsApp, trying to figure out where the other person was. And so, but his name's Savio, Brazilian, lives in Houston, and he flew in for the event and to do a lot of videos and get content for his social media. And so this is as we're getting started in the event. I'd say we had 800 plus people that were there. This is keep in mind, this is the US. It was a US event. It was not international. International will be next April. And you've all got to be at the international event when they launch the new Transfer Factor product. And Kelly Belarus is her name. She spoke about what makes our product different. And it is different. And that's what makes it so great when you're talking to someone. It's not a me too thing. When you really understand Transfer Factor and you understand the power of this miracle messenger molecule, what it can do for you, it's quite impressive, very impressive. And it's the only thing that's natural that we know of on the planet right now that has the ability to educate, inform your immune system, how to identify threats. And I can't think of anything more important for you and your health than to have the ability to identify a threat when it's present. And that was the difference between life and death with COVID, by the way. If your immune system did not identify the enemy, you're not here anymore. If your immune system did identify the enemy, wonderful. It did its job. But guess what? If it's educated and informed constantly, you are going to have a much greater chance of identifying, eliminating that enemy, and if it comes back, remembering it. And that's what transfer factor does. So Kelly spoke a lot about, the difference of what makes transfer factor different. Jeff Al Gilbers. I always enjoy listening to Jeff. And I've been privileged to Gabby and I have the privilege of sponsoring Jeff. We're Jeff's sponsor. So he's our level one. And, for the first few years, Jeff and I worked mano a mano, hand in hand. Everybody we talked to together. He's a platinum elite. Doesn't need me anymore. He was on the Zoom call to India, by the way. But here's the guy that's made a lot of money and built a wonderful organization. He talked about the Diamond Factory. Rather than thinking, oh, I want to become, a platinum. I've got to do 1 million life points. Got to have 3 golds. No. Diamonds. Focus on helping build diamonds. It's what, I think it's 300 and something diamonds in your entire organization. All right. You want to get to presidential, it's 2 diamonds, 2 diamonds. So the whole point is there's a big focus on helping build diamonds. And it's true. Diamond, I would say, is the most important position in our company. Why? Because there is no presidential diamond without diamonds. And there's no bronze. There's no silver. There's no gold. There's no platinum without diamonds. You have to have diamonds. So everybody goes through the process of becoming a diamond. And then you go from there. You find others who want to be diamonds. And so it's about having a diamond factory. And that's what Jeff spoke about. And he makes fun of it, he basically hollers out, I need another diamond, and so it's always fun to hear Jeff. But really that's what it's about, being a diamond factory. And then of course you have Jenna Lisenby, David and Bianca's daughter. She runs the Foundation for Life, and she talked about the importance of service. Again, that is one of the pillars of For Life. And it's the third pillar. Obviously science is the first, because everything For Life does is based on science. And then success. The only way that you can have a company is by helping others be successful. And 3, service. You have to provide service. And that's very important to For Life. We have the Foundation for Life. We have the Fortify program. You'll know that if you need some extra life points to top off, you can buy a bag of Fortify. You get the life points to qualify, and you fed a child. The money or the product actually goes to a child. It's got transfer factor in it, but they're full meals to feed children. So Jenna spoke about service. And as you know, For Life does service projects. There's been a lot of them that we've done through the years. Building houses in Colombia, building an orphanage in the Dominican Republic, for children with HIV, a farm in South Africa, again, for women and children with AIDS that were rejected by the community. They have a full self-sustaining farm in South Africa, where they live, and they've got their own fruit trees and grow their vegetables. And that was one of the first projects that For Life did, years back. So service, Jenna focused on service. And then our friend Nathan, it's always fun to listen to Nathan. Nathan talked as well about the 90-day push, talked about, everybody has their journey. Everybody has their process that they go through in building. But he talked about the importance of 90 days, but finding someone, find just one person to run with in a 90-day run and make it fun. Let's do it together. Let's have fun. In fact, I'll have to say the Kenyans, one thing I love about watching the Kenyans, the ladies especially, they have no problem going out there together and finding people. They get out there and they have fun doing it. Just get out and meet people, socialize, network. That's what it's all about. So that's what Nathan focused on, focus on doing your 90 days with someone. All right. Don't doing it by yourself, and just find that one person and making it fun. And then of course, the picture taking. getting together. These are two, actually, I should say five other platinums. You have, of course, Gabby next to me there. You have Ugo Johnson and Ileana Johnson. They're platinums from Los Angeles, California. They're Puerto Rican, live in LA. They actually live in the Ritz-Carlton. They have a suite in the Ritz-Carlton. She drives a Ferrari. And that's kind of her magnet, if you will, when she goes out recruiting and talking to people to see her in her Ferrari. And then you have Pastor Angel Molina and Ivelisse, his wife. They are from Puerto Rico, but he's a pastor. And it's always fun to listen to Angel Molina speak because he puts one hand in his pocket and he talks like a pastor because he's a pastor, you know, but he's a platinum. Again, how do these people get to platinum? They did it through work, hard work, persistence, all those things I talked about, the discipline, the tenacity, the focus. And then, of course, there's our good friend Juan Rosado. You know, I have to say about Juan, when it comes, behind him is Yvonne. You see Yvonne back right there. But Juan is probably one of the most transformed people in For Life. I met Juan in 2000. He was at the very first meeting I did for Herminio Nevares. And Juan, he was honestly a broken person. He was lost in life, didn't know, you know, what direction he was going to go, working as a security guard in a parking lot, just sitting in a wood booth making minimum wage. But he was reading books. He was reading books, you know, about personal development, and he had his dreams still had dreams. And Juan actually would go with me. I would go out and do meetings, and he would come along and listen to me. And then after a few months, you know, he's doing meetings. He's doing meetings with Herminio, and the rest is history. You know, here's the Platinum Elite now. But it's that process that Juan went through. You know, he went through a process, a transformational process, which required all those things we're talking about. You know, dedication, work, you know, staying focused, not throwing in the towel, not quitting, finding those people, you know, and Juan's got an organization all over the world of people that he never even knew before For Life. Just new people. That's what networking is about. But I'd say Juan is probably one of the most transformational people that I know in For Life. And that's actually Juan's nephew, Jose Martin, who's from Florida. He's gotten big. He's bulking up. He's becoming a big boy. So, but and he's a gold. Actually, I think gold elite now. Gold elite. But that's the fun thing about, you know, being with the people is we get together and have fun. Here's two of our new people. You know, talk about a 90-day run. These guys are right now in the middle of a 90-day run. They all just basically got started this past April. And, you know, Jesus right there, Jesus Gallardo is the one on the right. He's Colombian, lives in Seattle. Victor, the one with the headphones, he's from Colombia, lives in Utah. That's why they were able to go to the event. They came in from Utah and Seattle. And now they're going crazy. You know, first month, Victor became a diamond. He's got a great organization. Has a diamond below him. Actually, no, two diamonds below him. Victor has in April, the month of April. So they're having a great time. Here we are with Danny Lee. This is actually at lunch. Kevin Moore. Many of you know Kevin. Actually, Danny knew Kevin, or Kevin knew Danny when they were 19 years old. They both happened to be serving a mission for their church in the very same mission. So they knew each other back then. And so that's why they're kind of big buddies. You can look how little Danny looks with us. You know, and again, great thing about events like this, people just, I don't even know. I mean, I know that some of these people, I apologize because they may even be on here on Mentor Monday today, but many of these people I've just met for the first time, you know, and I tell them, get on Mentor Monday, join us. You know, this is all about learning and developing and then contributing and being part of a community, a family, a team of doing things together. And so I'm just basically doing, you know, telling people right here a bit about the business, you know, but obviously they want to listen. They're there to learn and develop and grow. And again, to me, The work really is outside. This is at lunch, right? We wrote for lunch. There's Angel Molina, Pastor Molina. I don't know, kind of he just looks like a pastor, the way that he speaks. And Angel told his story, talked about him getting started in Puerto Rico, and just working with a handful of people in the beginning. And the same thing, not everybody believed him when he was beginning, and now, a lot of people listen to him because of his achievement. But the thing is, you can sit and listen, but if you want to be up there as a gold or a platinum or even a silver or bronze, you have to go through that process. You can sit in an audience and listen to someone else tell their story, but you have to develop yours. It's about you growing, you and your success. And then Rob, Rob, this guy, he's from Kentucky, lives in Tennessee now. But Rob, what was so great about him, he's such a down to earth guy. There is no hype at all. There's no, in fact, he's just a very level headed person that makes sense, a lot of common sense. He just talked about how grateful he was to 4Life, that they didn't listen to him in the beginning when he was trying to tell 4Life how they should do their business. And so Rob has learned to be a networker. Now, think about this. We're all under Rob, all of us. So we could say, well, Rob's got one massive leg. He doesn't. He's a platinum. You can't get to platinum without having other legs. Who are his other legs? Tiffany Carnall with Dana Lombardi. And some from their team may be here right now with us right now. So he's got that leg. And then he's got Raj in India. I'll be over in India here in a few weeks. Rob was just on the call with India right now, you see. So you don't get to platinum by luck. You don't get to platinum by just sitting back hoping it will happen by chance. You get to platinum by staying consistent, continuing to network. You never know who that next person that you talk to is. It's all timing. You catch someone at the right time in their life. They're ready to make a change. They're ready to do something. You bring them in, you work with them, and now you've got a new bronze, silver, gold, and maybe platinum elite. But if you don't speak out, if you don't present a plan, if you don't, like if you're fishing, cast that hook out there, if you don't do it, guess what? The chances of you growing and being a platinum are zero. It's called law of averages. And I talked about that today as well on the India call. Work the law of averages. That's what Rob did just through the years. Took him 27 years. So what? Think about, if you knew right now, 27 years from now, you would have for your family a multi-million annual income. Would it be worth it? What kind of legacy, would you be leaving with your family? I listened to, this might sound off topic a little bit, but a song caught me listening to it. Gabby's funny. She said she's been listening to it for a few years now, or when it first came out. It's by Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. It's called Die with a Smile. And it's a 3/3, it's like a waltz. And, I listened to it, and the words behind it, were really just kind of really struck me. But I thought of Bruno Mars for a minute, and I thought, I don't know much about the guy. So I went and watched a YouTube video yesterday about his life and how poor he was. Sleeping in a zoo, by the way, with his dad, all right? Broke, going to Los Angeles to pursue a dream, getting rejected by everybody. But he kept fighting and fighting. And you look at the guy's won, I think, 17 Grammys now. He's only, 39 years old, 40 years old? So the point is this. Process. Everyone has to go through a process to achieve a level of success that you so desire, right? Rob began before us. Doesn't matter who gets there first. I wasn't the first platinum. You know what the first platinum was? Arminio. And then I think Bonnie Taylor made it right after that. And then Juan made it. And then Jeff made it. And I think I made it. But the point is, it doesn't matter who's first. What matters is you keep going and you will get there. So Rob's a good example of that. Ashley, very first time she spoke on stage, never done it in her life. So she's got notes. Great. Quite impressive listening to her talk about their journey, talking about, how they just kept putting one foot in front of the other. And that's the great thing about this business. Someone who's never spoken on stage before gets up on stage to share their story, inspire others. That's what networking is all about. Change. It's all about change. And I was really proud of listening to Ashley. She's good too. And there's our Ferrari driver, Eliana Johnson. She's a dynamo, a lot of energy, telling her story. She, like I said, she uses her Ferrari as a recruiting tool. And as people ask her, drive around her Ferrari. And but again, she comes from a background of non-networking. Real estate was her background. She thought she was in the best business being in real estate. Well, the thing about real estate, sure, you can do deals and make some money, but where's the residual? No, you got to go get another deal and then another deal and another deal. Networking is about building community, building family. It's establishing that passive income that comes in even when you're asleep. You're sleeping and somebody on the other side of the world is part of your organization and they're presenting a plan to someone because they want to achieve their dreams. You wake up in the morning, you got an extra 500 life points, 1,000 life points in your business. You made some money. Eventually it gets to where you go to sleep. I've had nights, honestly, I've gone to sleep and woke up the next day and it went up 1,000,000 life points in one day. In fact, the highest increase that I've ever had really was about just over 7.5 million in 24 hours. That was during the product launch of ProTF because it was a global launch. The company already shipped product around the world and everybody wanted it. And it was like kaboom. It was mind blowing. I thought it was a mistake, but that's what networking is. So envision this, you guys. 1 year from now, you've got a network, of maybe 100 people, 200 people, and they're using the products. Some are sharing the products. A couple more years go by. Now you've got a network of maybe 1,000, a few thousand people. 5 years go by. You've got maybe 15,000 people, 10,000 people. Doesn't matter exactly how many, but the point is, you have established a passive income through networking. That's what makes this so wonderful. And then recognition. We had some fun recognition walking all the way from, I think we even started with builders all the way up to platinums. And so a lot of people, there's Victor right there on stage. That was fun. So yeah, and this is one of the funnest parts is actually taking pictures and filming people being recognized. Celebrating, you work hard and you celebrate your success. Show your success. You go back and you work hard, mission accomplished. You show up at the international convention and now you not only you recognized, but you're with your people that are being recognized and you celebrate with them. That's what this is about. So that's me on stage, actually. I'm going to be doing my PowerPoint there, or my Canva. Thank you, Jillian, for helping put all that together. I really appreciate that. Everybody seemed to really enjoy it. I talked about your 90-day rocket launch. Do a 90-day run. Doesn't matter whether you are starting For Life today or you've been in For Life for the last 10 years. Do a 90-day run. Like I said on stage, it's just 90 days. 90 days that can change your life. 90 days of discipline, making sure every morning you wake up, one of the first things in your head is today's a wonderful day. It's a For Life day, and I'm going to talk to X amount of people. If it's one, great, it's one. Maybe it's going to be 5. Maybe it's going to be 10, whatever it is. You've got to think about it every day because the everyday habits all of a sudden turn into lifestyle disciplines. It just becomes a consistent thing you do every day. You start finding yourself getting a haircut, coming out of church, talking to the postman. Well, you just all of a sudden start sharing with people something you never did before, but you establish that habit through the daily discipline. It's just 90 days. And so that's what I talked about. It was fun. I always enjoy, getting up and be able to share some thoughts and ideas. I told everybody, I can't tell if everyone's doing, I said, everybody stand up and give me a four, So I wanted to see who's giving me fours there. So that's what I talked about was the 90 days, the 90-day run, being like a rocket, burn that fuel. And by the way, you all know why a rocket burns over 80% of its fuel just getting off the ground. It's called resistance. It has more resistance getting off the ground, just like you and I do. We're trying to get our business off the ground, our network off the ground. You're going to have resistance. It's life. You've got responsibilities, you've got family, and you may have a job that you're doing. So now you got to add more time. You got to carve into building your dream. And then there are people that are going to basically resist. They're not going to believe you. Oh, yeah. You're going to do what? But if you are consistent and you establish these daily habits through discipline, guess what happens? Your discipline, your effort, that fuel, that energy you're burning inspires people. Think about it. Anytime I was very much inspired listening to the Bruno Mars story on YouTube yesterday. Very inspiring what that young man went through to achieve. And one thing he said, people see, and they hear the end result, but they don't realize the hard work you put into it. All the hard work, all the energy, all the hours, the time, that's a process. But what makes this great? You don't go at it alone. You go at it by working with other people. David Lisenby finished up. Convention, you guys, got to come to convention. Got to celebrate my birthday, April 8th. That's my birthday. Conventions, April 8th to April 11th. And I love the theme. It's called One. That's the convention theme for 2026. So here we now have what? 11, just under 11 months left. Let's work hard. Let's give these 11 months, just put in all of your energy, your discipline. Do a 90-day run. And by the way, at the end of the 90 days, you should be like the guy in the circus that's spinning the plates. A plate to me is like a person that you're working with. You don't let it fall. You keep spinning it. You're there, you're working with them, you're supporting them, you're doing presentations with them. Maybe you find yourself motivating them. Maybe you find yourself just talking with them. And that's why I love, again, these events. We all get together and have a lot of fun. But yeah, One is the theme for the 2026 convention, Salt Lake City, Utah, April 8 to 11. And of course, the pictures that are being taken afterwards there, you've got Platinum Michelle Algilbers with Gabby. You have Yadira Olivo, Platinum Elite, and Olenia, Olenia Sullivan, who is a Gold Elite. And then myself behind there. And then Jeff's head behind us. There we have Claudia. So we got Claudia, Ariana, we've got Senelia, me, Gabby, Victor, Jimmy and Freddie, and Jesus, who came in. Jimmy and Freddie, they drove from Houston. They're actually going to LA. They're moving to LA to go network, to go build For Life in Los Angeles. And this is where the fun work is. Here I am. I don't know why it's blurry, but I'm basically talking with the guys on the end of my table. And you've got Gabby with Claudia. Gabby's taking the picture. She was sitting. And then Leslie, our daughter Leslie, Gold International Diamond. It's kind of cool seeing Leslie's seat that was reserved for her. She was there as well. It brought her friend. And I apologize, Leslie, if you're on with us right now. I can't remember her name, but she drove with Leslie from Calexico, California. They drove up to Vegas. It's always fun when you have family there too. Family taking pictures and just having a good time. Went out to dinner afterwards. And again, to me, that's where a lot of the work's done, just sharing and motivating and storytelling and training and so forth. Here we are having fun afterwards with Savio, myself, Jimmy, Freddie, Victor, and Jesus. Senelia with Gabby. That's just actually inside the hotel building. I guess there's like a mall there. And it's kind of fun seeing these guys all having fun too, having a good time. These are kind of pictures that they don't realize they're being taken. That's one thing Gabby loves doing, is just taking pictures of people. They're just having a lot of fun. And there's Savio. This is on the way actually when we were leaving the hotel, heading back to the airport, going back. I'm looking for it. Savio was very high up in Hinode, a Brazilian company that was a fragrance company that, another company that basically crashed, and it's just companies that don't have all the necessary ingredients, don't make it long term. But he's a networker, but he wants to network with purpose. He wants to do something with purpose. And he feels that For Life is his company that gives him purpose. I love his shirt. For Life will give him purpose. Him and his wife Danny. And oh, here we are with Melanie and Claudia. I forgot your two. Are these two gentlemen related to you, Claudia,
Yes,
too?
they're my nephews. They're Jamie's sons.
Okay, so
They're
they're
both
they're
my
they're
nephews.
Jaime's kids?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So I met Jaime's kids, and Jaime was with us, Claudia's brother, and Melanie. So Melanie is your niece. Melanie's your niece.
Melanie's my niece and is the one that actually started For Life. And that's why it was nice that I wanted her to see Kevin again, because Kevin was the one that started mentoring her when she was 20 years old. So
Oh, nice.
when she came to Canada, she was the one that had the first account in Canada in our family. Well, no, she was American, but that was the thing. She couldn't work. And so her mom said, "Why don't you do For Life? Since you can't work and you're going to stay with your aunt for unlimited." We didn't know how long she was going to stay. So the cool story is that that's the only thing she could do, because, she couldn't really work, but she could work For Life. So she started doing For Life. And then after a few years, that's when I quit Avon and switched in. But in honest, the truth is that she's the one that started For Life in Canada, not me.
Wow.
So that
Cool
was the cool.
story.
Yeah.
I love this. So Adriana is Melanie's mom.
Yes, sir. Adriana's Melanie's mom.
Nice. Okay. So and so that's part of your upline, So
So she doesn't do For Life anymore, for the people that are listening to the story. But as Dave says, it's not. It sometimes is the people don't stay, but the ones that they recruit stay. And in this case, it would be me, right? So she planted and she learned and she worked and she walked, the streets and buses and everything, training her people while she was in Canada. But then, the birds came and took the seed, and she went on to do other things. She's a very successful, um, in her career in AI. But she planted a lot of seeds, and that's why we're here, and that's exciting.
well, she just got married too. So
Yes.
her husband's, you can barely see his face right there on the side. I should have gotten a picture of all of us together. I'm sure there's one somewhere. I didn't have much time to get
Yeah,
into
they do.
pictures. But anyhow, she just got married recently, and she lives in San Diego, not far from where I'm actually at. So, maybe we'll pull her back in and get her doing some networking with us. But yeah, everyone knows someone, and that's what makes this business great. I talked to the young men there about networking. What makes it so great. One of them's doing a bit of real estate. The gentleman with the New York hat on.
Yeah,
So
Thomas is actually, he did sign up as a influencer, but we haven't been able to focus him. But Jacob, who's 21 and in university, I had been talking to him about you, so he was very eager to meet you, and that's why he was very much into the minutes that you spent. And he's like, "Oh, I wish I had talked to Dave more. He's such an intelligent man." So it was nice because I know that Dave likes inspiring young men, and it's not only about networking. Is what I told him. When you meet Dave, he doesn't just talk about For Life or just talk about networking. He talks about people and people's growth. He's a great mentor in every way. So he was very excited to meet you, and he said he wants to talk to you more and learn from you. So, uh, 21, and he was excited about the model. It was the first time I actually got to spend time with my nephew, and throughout the days he actually saw me recruiting the Uber guys, and he saw me getting numbers and everything. And he's like, "Oh, Auntie, it's really very exciting to see what you're doing with my aunt and my dad, because I had never seen that." And so yeah, it was an exciting trip for me with my family, and inspiring my young nephews that the model is solid, and it's there for everybody.
And you're leading by example, Claudia, and that's what's so important. People, that's how you inspire people. People see the effort, what you're doing, what you're building, and to people that's very inspiring. So, and that's us flying back home. Flew back home to enjoy Mother's Day here, and we leave in 2 days to go on the For Life President's Club trip, and spend a little bit of time with those that will be there. I think there's like 50 that are going, golds and platinums with David Lisenby and others. And that's really my goal, is to get as many of you up to where you're on those kinds of trips, because those trips are different. David Lisenby's on every one of them, and so is Danny Lee, executives, and they're first class. You fly first class, you get we got a suite on a boat, you know, um, and just everything is just first class all the way. But you're around other people, and like I said, everyone has their story, their journey. Nobody was appointed a position and say, well, we're going to hire you and bring you in for, start you out at $500,000 a year, and you're going to get this vice president position. No, every person signed up one day in their life, and they traveled the journey. And that's what we're doing. So let's do it together. Let's have fun doing it together. I appreciate you guys being here today. Las Vegas was a blast, and we are going to be they're looking at doing regionals. So one of my focuses is going to be up in the Seattle area. I'm going to be going up to Seattle, I'm sure this year, and starting to some meetings up in Seattle. That's because it's kind of a hot spot right now. Got some activity going on, and the companies wants to support us with those. So thank you, everyone. Love you guys. And I will turn it back over to, do I go to you, Claudia, or back to J. Michael? J. Michael.
Oh, I'm back. I would like to touch base with just real quickly. I know we're running at top of the hour. I know Sonia, Sonia was in Las Vegas. If there's anyone else that was in Las Vegas that would like to just say, what was the number one thing that impacted you while you were there? Dave, thanks so much. I loved everything you shared today. It was absolutely exciting and obviously motivating. But like you said, now it's action time, and 90 days. One other thing I'll mention that I struck out at me real quickly was on the Fast Start program, was some of the statistics that I think it was Nathan that shared, that a Fast Start, a new affiliate that gets into Fast Start, they're 33 times more likely to reach Diamond. And that's a statistic. For Life tracks that. And I think you've talked before, Dave, about what you measure is what happens in your business. And that's a statistic that I put in my notes, that you're 33 times more likely to reach Diamond if you start with a Fast Start program. So like you said, I think Fast Start is a no-brainer if you're a business person and you're wanting to start a business, for sure. So, but anybody else real quickly that was in Las Vegas want to share anything with us today?
Hey, Michael, real quick, I just wanted to share. Jade came up and gave us some tips on social media, and she's always so great.
Yes.
She's got that bubbly energy. And she said, show up like a leader, not perfect, but follow your purpose. People join people that are growing. And I really want to encourage everybody. We are in a journey. It's not going to be pretty sometimes, and it might not be the shot or the hairdo or whatever it is that you wanted. But what comes out of your mouth is, as long as it comes from your heart, guess what? People, that resonates with people. They hear it in your story. They feel it as it was them. So I just want to encourage everybody. Try to make it to these events. I know you didn't this time. That's fine. Next time, the next one coming up is convention. It's so critical to your business. If you're serious about this, you need to be there, because these moments are what's going to propel you to launch forward and bring that whole entourage of people that you have with you. So God bless. Thank you guys for letting me share a little bit.
You're welcome, Sonia. Anyone
I
else?
raised my hand, J. Michael, just because I wanted to say, and thank you, Sonia, for that. I didn't have a picture. I should have had one of Jade, but I talked to her at lunch, and I asked her if she would join our Mentor Monday and do that presentation. She said absolutely. So you guys, we just need to set it up. Maybe, you know, because I'm, like I said, I'm going to be doing some traveling. Maybe one of the Mentor Mondays we can get Jade, but she does a wonderful presentation, as well with Jillian. Both of them are like social media pros, and I think that having them both even interact and sharing ideas and thoughts for an hour, what an awesome training that would be.
Absolutely. I'll also say, Dave, Jillian and I, and you and all of us that are really working now on to do with Upline Pro website, we're adding content almost weekly, and it's really evolving. That website continues to grow. But if you're not a member, and I really encourage you to go to Dave's website, uplinePro.com, and become a member. It's free. There's nothing, no obligation, and we don't sell your email, but become a member. And there's a tremendous amount of material that Jillian has been working on with Dave and others with Upline Pro. The other one is our private groups on Facebook, Upline Pro Inner Circle, and the Feel Good. Jillian, I'll let you share real quickly, if you're able, just the last few minutes, real quickly, any updates. The calendar, we've got a lot of new meetings coming on board. Lots of Zoom meetings we'll be adding again, from opportunity meetings. Mentor Monday is a set. We're doing Mentor Monday every Mentor Monday. But Jillian, what's on your mind today, real quickly?
I can, first of all, I just want to say thank you for everybody who showed up today, because consistency does, matter, because your number one thing you have to do is show up, right? So that's one of the things that you're going to, if you don't show up, you're not going to learn. I also want to welcome, we have quite a few of our volunteers here today. For those who don't know, what we're doing is to help spread awareness, is to actually invite people that want to do good and want to share what we have, not just with the For Life products, but what we have when it comes to how it can make people feel good. The product aspect, the benefits of what we have. We sometimes forget, oh yeah, there's a money aspect of it. We're going to make money doing this, but we forget sometimes that we have something that's absolutely brilliant, and that's my spin and everything. I wanted somebody to walk away feeling good. So we've had some new volunteers coming in. They're showing up. They're actually helping us design some of our collaterals, or they're designing some of the assets. Sabir's here from Bangladesh. We've got a couple people here from I think Abimbola is here from Nigeria is coming in. We've got Hope coming in from Uganda. We've got people coming in that's going to be showing up from Brazil. We've got Dr. Pranav, who shows up on our Tuesday calls. They came in on the intention just to help spread the word of holistic healing, and now they're falling in love with For Life. So we've got quite a few people showing up and helping us out with this. And I want to say welcome to you, number one. Don't hesitate to the fact that people may just want to know what we have in terms of what we can give to make people feel good. So always remember, you never know what door will open by just sharing the benefits of what we have. Period. So I'm really excited about them. They're just, they've been here a couple of weeks and they're already contributing. I want them to get to know the global team. So this is why they're coming on the Mentor Monday. They're getting to see the community. Thank you to Dave to sharing your wisdom, because that's where we get the wisdom on how to grow. Because I would like them to leave a legacy down the road, not to share good to their family and friends as well. So tonight we do, there is no detox call tonight, but going forward for updates, there will be weekly detox calls with our Detox for Longevity host and coach, Dodie Dees. I don't know if you guys know this, but Dodie Dees is going to be leading the Detox for Longevity coach calls every Monday. But tonight there is no call for those guys that are looking for it. We're just maybe going live in the community. We are trying something new. We are going to be going streaming live inside the communities, by the way. So inside the private communities, we will be streaming live inside there. We're testing that out tomorrow for the Good Health Solutions group. That is going to be focusing on osteoporosis. So anybody you know that has this condition or is worried about it, please invite them to that call. It's not just Dr. Ronnie going to be showing up. We have a couple of new doctors coming in that want to contribute and be part of these conversations. The more medical professionals we have around table discussing this alongside Sonia and Claudia and any other professionals, the more insight we'll have on what we have to offer with the For Life products. So this is a great opportunity to invite other medical professionals to these calls. You know, if you have a chiropractor or friend, invite them to those conversations. We also then are going to be having the business opportunity meeting that's for the English market. That's for everybody that you know that speaks English. So, you know, this Wednesday, I know Dave's not available to do this, but we'll figure something out. But every Wednesday, we're going to be needing you guys to come in and show up and support by inviting your connections to that call. Okay, so stay tuned. It's in the calendar, and you know, just show up and make sure you share these opportunities with each and every one of you. Okay, so thank you everybody for showing up today. Next week we just have to discuss, because next weekend is Memorial Day weekend and Family Day weekend. So the question is, do we have a Mentor Monday call or not? Put your hand up, and Dave and J. Michael, we'll let you know. We'll post it inside the community to make sure, let you know we're having a call or not, because it is a big day for many, and we'll go from there. All right.
Okay, thanks, Jillian. Great info. Lots of info shared today, everyone. So this is recorded. As you know, if you're not subscribed to Dave's or the Upline Pro YouTube channel, it's broken out by different categories. You can go to Mentor Mondays. We'll be uploading this to that channel here sometime this week. Hopefully, I know Claudia is busy traveling, but Claudia will get this uploaded to the channel. But that's where you can see all the Mentor Monday, all the videos from Upline Pro is on their channel. And again, uplinepro.com. Jillian mentioned the calendar. That is also on uplinepro.com/calendar. We can reach it through his website, and all these meetings are on there as well. So I'm going to stop the recording here, and